Here we go, folks. Welcome back to Music Pervs, and here's Paul Wallen, and today, breaking news. Oh, although that's been breaking news a long time ago, but anyways, better late than never, and yeah, today we have in front of us a beta version of FL Studio 21. ImageLine stated that they're about to release, I guess in the end of that year, the FL Studio 21 is coming, but anyways, it's damn revolutionary, and there are a lot of new stuff. Let's dig into it. The first update that all FL users craved for years, they've been craving for it, fades. Folks, not only fades, but crossfades. How about this, huh? Now we can do this. We have here drum loop A, drum loop B, and now we can crossfade them with not just regular crossfades, but S shapes. Not ass shapes, pardon me for my caveman sense of humor, but S shapes, which you can regulate like so. Fancy, huh? The length of that crossfade you can regulate with just dragging with Alt button, not to be snapped to grid, or by just snapping into grid. Also, you could actually find that double arrow here and just drag it back and forth if you want to narrow it down without actually shifting the other audio clip here. But yeah, you can do that. Also, what we have are, of course, just fades. Fade in here and fade out. Just by dragging those upper corners, you can have those long time craved fades. Freaking God. By the way, a little side note, you might say that, oh, Jesus, in Cubase or Ableton Live, we've been having those things from the beginning, right? But there is a freaking reason that FL Studio could not afford to implement that before, and you have options for it. By right-clicking it, you can get this tab, which gives you those things. You can actually switch it to the regular kind of common curve for ImageLine. You can reset this thing, copy the value, and that's basically it. With all those fades and crossfades, we are presented with this new button up here once you are in the audio clip mode here on the playlist. Show fade editing controls button. Do not mind those two buttons. Those are the old-time buttons that we had before, like check for zero crossing button and the stretching mode. Remember that thing? The stretching mode, that's an old button. They've been redesigned, and now they're representing their actual purposes, right? So, this button gives us some options here. You could actually just turn off the ability to see and create those fades, as well as the ability to control and regulate the gain, which is one more revolutionary thing in FL Studio. I'm gonna get back to that button and its options, but here's why this gain controller is so revolutionary. Not only can you regulate and control the gain of it, bringing it up to clipping, all the way to clipping plus 36 decibels, or bringing it down to minus infinity, which is silence. Not only can you do that, which actually way cooler than just a boost, because with the boost knob you can't actually bring the volume down, and you have to like double click and reach out into this tab here, but right now you can do this. That's cool, that's already cool, but let's just pretend like it's vocal, okay? Like really dynamic vocal part here. Look at that now, what we have. I still have a single freaking audio clip without all the unique copies of it, which you probably remember that you used to have when you were editing vocals and fixing the dynamics of a vocal. Remember that? That was the freaking hell that we all went through. All of that gain adjusting is actually, it's like independent gain adjustment for every chop that you're gonna make. So I can bring the loud parts down like this. Right now it's that easy. Isn't that a freaking update? Isn't that sweet, huh? No more make unique function, no more unnecessary automation for volume knob. So let's get back to that button and the functions of it. You can actually just turn off ability for gain adjustment and all the fades. But this thing is still gonna leave you with the option of a crossfading here, like so. But you could still disable that function over here. Automatic crossfades, it's called, logically enough, right? I suggest that you keep it on because that's the thing that every user in any DAW should be able to control and have fades. I beg you, do not turn off that function. You are going to need it, right? There's no logical excuse not to use that. Also, you could separately disable show fade preview. It's really handy. I figured out why it might be handy. Like bringing this thing to the amount of like -20 and below would leave you with this audio clip not only no visible, you can't even see what's going on in audio data here. Or you would want to like narrow all those tracks to this stage, right? You will not be able to see what's represented in the audio data here on inside of an audio clip. So yeah, that's why they probably added this ability to switch off the show gain preview. You're not going to be able to see right now the visual representation of the diminishing or increasing the gain, but you will be presented with a digital data here with actual numbers. The other thing is you could switch off show fade previews. You will not be able to see the actual fading of audio wave. Let's enable that. See? I don't know, maybe you're bothered by the visual representation of it. So I don't know why, what's the reason for it, but yeah, they added that ability. As you can see, they also added this plus button. By left clicking it, you can bring down this menu to add any new plugin generator, and it's going to be opened as a playlist track, multi-link to channel rack and to mixer track. Like, let's open up a Citrus here. You remember that thing, right? Which automatically creates a pattern, or you can rename that thing and it's going to rename the whole system of mixer track. Not going to rename the pattern, but it's going to rename the channel here on the channel rack. Yeah, that's the thing. A new way to spawn some synths generators. Secondly, guess what? We got a new browser here, which I guess is gonna kill all the other DAWs browsers. Take a look at it. Here's what's new, and the whole concept of FL Studio browser has been restructured to tabs, a tab mentality. You can bring the menu here, which is an actual separate menu for each individual tab. Let's say you're gonna change the size of a text of a font here, right? You're not gonna change the size of a font in all the other tabs. So they are all independent elements. And keep in mind that you can rename, recolor, change the icon of it. You could copy, delete it, create a new one. This is how you can create a new one. Here I already created that one. I'm gonna delete it and I'm gonna show you what it does. So let's say like I want to have a specific set of sample packs or any other data, let's say MIDI packs in my new tab. Let's say I would want to dedicate like a specific tab to a specific genre of music or specific types of samples. Let's say drum samples, synths, or anything else. Okay, I have the best sample pack here dedicated to all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna just open that in new tab and I can rename that the artist. Let's say that. How about that, huh? I can add anything that I want to that tab. Let's right-clicking, add folder to existing tabs. This is how you can fill up all the newly created tabs with your sample packs and sort them out by genre, data type, or anything else that you would want to. Yeah, this is how handy it is. And my goodness, take a look at this. Audio preview. Our prayers have been heard. Play stop button. Volume fader, all those audio details. Look at that. Like holding shift, you can actually skip through that thing. Can you imagine it by just holding a shift? Don't forget to hold shift when you do it, because otherwise you would not be able to. Yeah, audio preview, the freaking thing. And also, look up here. As you probably already noticed, we have tags button and the search bar. And probably, yeah, you might want to ask, how did I get this thing up there? How did I get this search tab over there? Because by default, your version of FL Studio is going to be down here, all the way down here. So by just clicking that option, yeah, this is the way it's going to be by default. By just clicking this option, search box on top, you're going to get it up there. To me, it seems like it's much more convenient and handy to have the search bar on top where you can actually easily just reach out and click a tag button or just type in some words for searching. Yeah, handy. A new kind of search which can give you an option not only for searching files but also added the ability for Boolean search, which I haven't really tested but I'm going to. Yeah, but anyways, the tags, it's the whole freaking world here. I already added some just for a test, but I ended up with the idea that with my huge freaking library, which by the way has like 120,000 freaking audio files and the size of it is way more than 100 gigabytes, and yeah, with that type of like media library, tagging each and every audio file with not a single tag, but you got to keep in mind that each and every one of those audio files you should tag really thoroughly, you know, with as much detail as you possibly can. And if you have a small kind of library, which you're gonna probably quit using in like 1 or 2 years, you're gonna end up like wasting your time tagging it. So yeah, for me right now, I've come to realize that I don't need tagging that much. So if you love the process of tagging and sorting those things out, yeah, that would be handy. Basically, tags here have two functions, any and all. As you probably already realize, it works just the same way. This is the tagging system from the image line plugin, Rumpler Flex. Let's say I need bass. And let's say I need 808 bass. See, if I'm selecting both tags, the amount of data which I'm presented with is more when I'm selecting two tags. In the case of all, it's going to be less. So this way, the browser searches for with the perspective that, okay, I have to show like only the data that has both those tags in it. Like not any of those tags, but both of them. So that's the logic you gotta understand here. And that's all you gotta know about the tagging system. This is how you tag files. So let's say I'm here having all the bases and attacking bases for the slap house. So this is how you tag those things. If you have already existing tags, you can just bring up that tab and just with right clicking, you can grant a specific tag to this particular sample. If you want to get the most out of tags, you gotta just thoroughly think about what's gonna be your tags. Let's think about that. A slap bass, right? This thing, it's a bass, it's a pluck, it's a slap house. We might already have 3 tags, but it also sounds kind of like an FM, so I might add FM because it definitely sounds like an FM modulation. And adding new tag is just as simple as that, right? And you just gotta name it. That's it. Deleting existing tags is happening over here. You just right click it and delete it, right? It's as simple as that. Also, you are now able to favorite your samples or any other data like MIDI files, presets. All of those things are gonna appear in starred tab. You have a start tab here. So that's basically going to be a long list of your liked or favorited sounds. It's not going to be grouped in any folders. There is no such possibility, but I just hope that they would do something about it, because you're going to like a lot of stuff and that's going to be a long list, and you're going to be like scrolling really for a long time down there to find a thing that you favorite or liked. I just pray that they are gonna add some type of management to that whole tab. The last thing that I wanted to mention about the browser, and it's one of my favorite things, is layouts. It's freaking beautiful. Take a look at this. And by the way, before that, we could actually just open and drag out only to this amount. But right now, we're able to drag it all the way to the center of the screen. Right now, I'm on my Quad HD, but I'm able to actually drag it out to the middle of my screen, right? So yeah, for the reasons of working with layouts. So this is the layout. I'm gonna select a tree now and just take a look at it. Huh? Right now we have split screen of a browser. From the left we got only the folders, and I can only open one folder at a time. And the selected folder is gonna give us all the samples in the right column here. Isn't that beautiful? And it's not all pervs. It's not all. We hit the whole nother level with samples layout. Take a look. A visual representation of every freaking sample here. And isn't that handy when you don't have a type of a sound in the name of a file in the title? By just looking at it, which one of them is the pluck, which one of them is like a reverse bass, which has side chaining in it. Let's say we have like loops and stuff. Which types of like drum loops are gonna have like side chain in it? Which are more dynamic, which are less dynamic and stuff. Isn't that life now? Isn't that a freaking management? The only downside of it, of course, your screen is gonna fit less amount of samples, but that's probably going to be handy for some of us. And let's keep on going. Some workflow improvements that are worthy mentioning. Before that, in FL Studio 20, we were not able to do this. Place the play cursor. If you don't have a data written on your playlist, you would not be able to place the play cursor of the playlist, or for other case of a piano roll. Let's switch to pattern mode. You would not be able to locate it here. It would be placed over here, max. And yeah, right now we can place this cursor wherever we want to for a specific purpose. Copy pasting has been upgraded. Let's get back to playlist, because this is where we spend our most times, right? Writing music. And yeah, some of you, most of you remember that in all times, this is the way we pasted stuff. Copied that, I pressed Control C. And in all times, the way we pasted stuff. Remember that, guys? We would position that scroller like so, where we put the area where we want to put the pasting right at the beginning of our playlist screen. And then we would hit the Control V. But right now, this is how you paste. You place the cursor here and you paste stuff. Even without snapping to grid, like I'm gonna press Alt and position it here, paste, boom. And likewise, it works with piano roll notes. Boom, 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 bow. Isn't that live, guys? Isn't that production? That's gonna save so much time. It's gonna be really it's the convenient logic in every other DAW, but we're getting it just now. Okay, for the reasons of their own, they added here right now, but finally they did it. Really worthy feature in the workflow that I forgot to tell you. Let's say I want to get over here, and let's select those guys. And see, by default earlier, before that, we used to drag and drop those files, any multiple files, in a vertical stack, right? You would have that option. And right now, hovering multi-selected data, audio data above the playlist, you have an option of pressing the Shift key right now. And you would be able to place it horizontally in a line, and it's going to drop them with no gap in between them, like horizontally placed. This is the option. Anyways, let's get to the good stuff, and that's, as we all love them, plugins. New plugins, 3 new effect plugins. Those would be, the first one, it's the fancy new reverb plugin, which is way cooler than what Fruity Reverb 2 is, probably even cooler than Fruity Convolver, but Fruity Convolver is the whole nother deal because it's a convolver type of reverb, and that's considered to be some other thing. But anyways, yeah, it has all bunch of settings here, all bunch of knobs, which are still there for me to study, and I need to test it. I need to just get a hold of it, explore it, and then I will probably make a video. I'm not gonna promise you that. No, I won't probably make any separate video on it because I'm such a lazy son of a bitch. Yeah, that thing requires a whole nother video of explaining all kinds of settings and tweaks. But anyways, here's the reverb, and it sounds just like a reverb, but it has a bunch of those presets. Sounds just like a reverb, as I've told you. Yeah, the other deal is multi-band delay, which is a monster. A plugin has been a long time expected and teased by ImageLine, and this thing is a kind of new effect in sound design. Just take a listen to what it does. As you can probably judge, those are frequency spectrum bands. This is the respective curve of a stage of a delay for each and every of those bands. And you can do that not only with like micro delay for those bands, with volume as well, and with panning. And the most important thing to know and to have in mind is that it's going to impact various sounds differently. Like you can test it on bass, on vocals, you can experiment with various sample types, and it's going to be giving you always new results and new kinds of discoveries with those things, because it's a new thing. This thing is yet to explore for us producers and to experiment away with. Yeah, anyways, multi-band delay. And the last thing is the vintage phaser, which is a regular phaser, but probably kind of gives a retro color to the sound. I don't know. I'm gonna just test it, compare it, and yeah, I need to explore it. Sounds probably vintage. But anyways, here's FL Studio 21 beta, and yeah, it is beta. It's not an official release. As far as I know, they're gonna add something else, some new stuff to the official release. We're yet to know what the surprise is gonna be. It is going to be something, I guess. The link to where you can download this beta version is gonna be in the description. And hey, don't forget to leave a comment what you think about those updates. And please don't make me say those stuff that you should hit a like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you would not miss another video on Music Pervs. Please do those things by default if you haven't already. And yeah, that's been Paul Wallen. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next videos, which I'm gonna be uploading much more often, probably. Yeah, I guess that's it. Take care.